Hey, my name is STIX and welcome back to another weekly bite of MMORPG news. A series where we go through all of the MMO announcements, the MMO releases, MMO beta tests, MMO news that came out that at least mattered to me in some form over the course of the last week or two. If you're interested in staying up to date with the series, with all of the MMO related news in the scene, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment, going over what you're most excited for. Now let's go ahead and get started. Let's start this off with Final Fantasy XIV, patch 6.5, Growing Light, coming early October 2023. Square Enix put up the official site for the patch. There's a lot of very interesting information. I know a lot of you are very excited to see the coming conclusion of Endwalker, the fights, the story. You're no doubt anticipating Dawn Trail, we all are. But most importantly, an interview was held with Yoshi P recently. And this is a very weirdly titled article, but they were discussing whether Final Fantasy XIV would be free to play. And Yoshi P said, essentially, while they are continuing to increase the amount of content that is available to free players with every coming expansion, the game has no plans of converting to a full free-to-play business model anytime in the near future, which is good because honestly, if it went free to play, the quality of the game would probably plummet. Next, let's take a moment to talk about Blue Protocol. This is probably the biggest announcement since it was announced, and that is that Tencent is going to be in charge of not only developing but also publishing Blue Protocol Mobile. This is completely out of the hands of Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco are going to have absolutely no input whatsoever with this, which means the Tencent, the studio, is going to have full control over what the final form of Blue Protocol Mobile looks like. And granted, Tencent has invested in some studios and produced some fairly good quality titles, but they were not titles that they developed from the ground up. This is going to be just such a title, and I'm genuinely concerned about that. Additionally, the Taiwanese, the Hong Kong release, and the Macau versions of Blue Protocol, which were going to be released at least theoretically in some form over the course of the next month or two, have been delayed. Next, Etterspire. I know you're gonna look at this and be like, oh, and a mobile MMO on the App Store, yeah, but I felt like I needed to go ahead and include this because it just released out of the App Store. It's a brand new MMO, and it honestly doesn't look horrible. But I'm not just gonna go ahead and omit a mobile MMO just because it's a mobile game. Next up, we have Zenith. Zenith is releasing the Ascension update, which is going to be introducing quite a bit of new content, quite a few new features, quite a few bug fixes. This honestly looks pretty good. I've never played Zenith. I don't own any kind of VR headset, but for those of you that have played or enjoy it, then this is probably very important. Conqueror's Blade is holding a brand new season. I honestly didn't know Conqueror's Blade was still even really a thing. There are new seasonal units, new battle pass, the new seasonal campaign. I mean, this honestly looks pretty good. I enjoyed Conqueror's Blade when I played it. And I mean, the PvP was a lot of fun, albeit very one-sided. The Elder Scrolls Online is releasing update 40. It's going to be releasing a lot of new stuff. New grouping tool, adjustments, crafting station, Grandmaster crafting station specifically. I mean, if you play the Elder Scrolls Online and you're interested in the update, I urge you to go ahead and check this out. But it's going to be a pretty decent sized update. And I recently played the Necrom expansion. That was a lot of fun. Being taken back to Morrowind was quite the nostalgic experience for me. ArenaNet posted a September 2023 update onto their website where they went on to confirm that their most recent expansion actually did even better than they had anticipated, and that releasing smaller, more condensed expansions more frequently was probably more beneficial to them financially in the long term. And I mean, I know, shocking, right? Releasing updates more frequently earns you more money. But I mean, kudos to Guild Wars 2. Their expansions are a lot of fun, and I mean, people have genuinely been happy with them from what I've seen thus far. Before we go any further into this video though, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon who allow for me to continue to do videos like this every single day. Now, this is an update that has upset a lot of people. This is an update that has shaken the gaming genre to its very core, because this affects gacha games, this affects MMOs, this affects just normal everyday single player games. What this does is essentially charge studios a set fee based off of every singular download or dollar earned over a certain threshold. So studios could be forced to pay hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars every month to keep their games online. And then as a follow-up to this, to appease the masses after such a horrible announcement, they decided to offer an alternative, and that is that games could opt to instead insert advertisements using the Unity ad platform into their game, which would mean that you could play something like, I don't know, let's say as an example, Black Desert was built using the Unity engine. I know it's not, but let's say it was. You can be playing Black Desert for like 30 minutes and you get a pop-up on your screen saying you need to watch the ad for 30 seconds to keep playing. That is what they're saying. That is a functional alternative for any MMO that is built using Unity, any gacha game that is built using Unity, and that is fucking horrific to think about. Aion is wait, is that a Power Ranger outfit? What the actual fuck? Aion, the European Aion, is holding celebrating their 14th anniversary, and the North American Aion is merging servers together because it is on its last legs. So I mean, there we go. Riders of Icarus, which is still not dead yet, is launching their Magmapora patch and releasing a roadmap followed by play to earn. I remember that they went the play to earn route. That is so depressing, given Riders of Icarus was a very fun game a long time ago. This was actually one of Mrs. Stix's favorite MMOs when she first got into the genre. Legendarium is a brand new, or Legendarium Online rather, is a brand new 3D sandbox MMORPG with huge open world. I'm assuming they meant with a huge open world, but I mean, this is an indie game. I don't really know what to expect from it. Clearly not a spell check. If you're interested, it is an early access game coming soon. You can wishlist the game. Chimera Land received a new update. I'm shocked that Chimera Land is still even a thing. I mean, cool. Palia released a new update, patch 0.168. I know it, Palia still isn't even like technically a fully released game yet, but I mean, they got some cool new stuff. The hotfix added some things, altered some things. If you're playing the game or you've been waiting for something new, a reason to come back, then here you go. Lost Ark posted their September release notes with the inclusion of their jumpstart servers. I've heard a lot about the jumpstart servers. I haven't actually participated. They are isolated from other servers with independent PvE matchmaking, party finder, marketplace, and auction house. So as restarting players to have an independent experience is unaffected by existing servers and reasons. So it's essentially like a fresh start server. And they've got a bunch of other content that was added. Apparently some kind of Fortnite, yeah, battle arena. Okay, cool. Throne and Liberty actually decided that they're going to be drastically altering quite a bit of the game, which is why they went ahead and delayed it. It was delayed into some point in 2024. This game is never going to release at this rate, but they've made it so battle is now dynamic, which allows for a lot more movement, a lot more fluidity, and hopefully not stagnant, still tab target combat. Fracture Online released a roadmap that went on to state that they are finally going to go back to Steam Early Access with a ton of new features and content. This is after they broke off their publishing and development deal with Gamigo and were removed from Steam. So that's great to see. It's good to see that they're making a comeback of sorts. Dragon Raja released their brand new Yasai class, and I actually played that in a dedicated video. I'd urge you to go ahead and check that out if you're interested in it. The new class was a lot of fun. There's new content, new events going on, new mini games. And finally, I know this isn't an MMO, but I mean, a lot of you, I'm sure, still play this, but Honkai Star Rail is officially launching onto the PS5 in October 11. PlayStation players are finally going to be able to get their hands on the game. Unfortunately, it's not for PS4 though. And that is everything. All of the MMO news, drama that mattered to me, at least over the course of last week. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Again, if you want to stay up to date with this series, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, turn it all on. You know what to do.